Hello, in this video, I'm gonna attempt to recreate some visuals from the old retro Nokia 3310 kind of era of handheld devices and screens. More specifically, this type of visual that I'll show you on screen, which is one of the more iconic or more well-known images from this era. I think it's like a Nokia splash screen. When you turned on an old retro phone, this is what would show up. But anyway, we're gonna recreate these kinds of visuals using Dither Boy and Photoshop, as well as some assets that I found online, like a stock image. But you can use any image you want and land with me through this video in that style. So before we get started, if you're not aware of Dither Boy, this is a fully standalone dithering software for images and videos. It's not a plugin. You don't need to use it with Photoshop. You can use it with anything. It is its own software, but it has over 50 effects. And in this video, I'm mainly going to talk about the diffusion effects. So we're not going to cover all of Dither Boy today, which means if you want more information about Dither Boy, then I will leave all the links to that stuff below the video. So if you want to find out more, just go there. But to get straight into it, I've got a Photoshop document open at 1350 by 1080 here. You can go with whatever you want really. And I will show you somewhere on screen now the visual references that I'm using. If you've got access to something like Blender and Daz 3D, you can very easily render something like this out. But I just did a search for hands reaching on this stock photo website and found plenty of stock images that you can pull into your own sort of version of this if you want to go for the hand reference. I'm gonna start with this one here. I'll leave a link to that image in the description so you can use that in your work if you want. And the first thing I'm going to do is just scale that up so it's taking up the full width of my canvas, and then I'm just going to move the hands up to make room for some text. Now, one of the things you might have noticed about the reference is that the dither doesn't only display the hands in the reference. There's sort of a gradient that goes bottom to top in the reference that I showed, and the gradient has like text stenciled out of it. So these were some of the techniques that people would have had to use back in the day when dithering was a functional tool, not just like a stylistic thing like how we use it now. So I'm going to try and recreate some of the negative space that they've taken advantage of with a gradient here in my work. Simply, literally just by drawing a black to white gradient along the y-axis of my canvas. And you can adjust the color spread if you want. So there's more gray, more black, or more white, basically. It's up to you. And then I'm just going to change the blend mode of the gradient fill to multiply. Now, if you want, you can reverse the gradient and change the blend mode to something like difference or exclusion, which might look cool. But for now, for mine, I'm going to try darken to start with. And then in white text over the top of that, I'm just going to write Dither Boy. This is not the Nokia font. This is a font that I just wanted to use for this called Akira, which is by this designer called Typologic. I found it on Behance, but I bought it on Creative Market, but you can get it for free on that font. So I will leave those links in the description as well. Or you can obviously just use whatever font you want to use. So this is the basic setup pre-dither. This is my actual real first attempt at this. So I don't know if this is going to come out well, but just going to save and open up Dither Boy. And I've got Dither Boy open here in version 3.0.2. If you are not on the latest version, then it will be in your email inbox. And I'm just importing my image. So going back to the reference I showed at the beginning, if you look at our styles list, I think some of mine is going to get cropped out of the screen recording. But if you look at the styles list, we've got error diffusion, ordered, glitch effects, patterned, and special effects. So the reference was using an error diffusion algorithm. I don't know which one, probably Floyd-Steinberg, but I don't know. The information will be out there somewhere about what they use. The only reason I bring that up is just because I would, for this specific visual that we're going for, avoid using the ordered dither or the glitch effects or any of the other categories basically, but you can choose whatever you want in the error diffusion section. So this is Floyd-Steinberg at default settings. So I'm just going to try and play around with this to see if I can get the hands to a point. So since I'm struggling to get the clarity that I want out of the Floyd-Steinberg algorithm, I'm just going to switch to Atkinson, which responds much better to the luminance threshold slider. Depending on what you went for, you might find success with the Floyd-Steinberg one or one of these others. Gaussian is one of the new ones that we added in a recent update as well, which responds quite well to the luminance threshold slider. So I might actually grab a couple of these just by getting the settings I want. So here for Gaussian, I've got 5 scale, 1 distribution spread, 28 contrast, 29 luminance threshold, and default everything else. And I'm just going to go File, Export, Copy to Clipboard. And because I've still got this PSD open, I can just paste it in, and I've saved that now. And then back into Dither Boy, and I'll do my Atkinson one as well. So that one needs a higher luminance threshold. Just while I'm messing with this, if you're still learning about dithering and stuff, or if you're not familiar with some of these terms, the luminance threshold is just basically how bright does a pixel have to be for it to show in white in the dithered result. That's very simplified explanation of it basically, but if you want a more visual example of why that works how it does, if you load back into Gaussian and just turn the luminance threshold all the way up, you'll see that basically only the pure white pixels are now being represented in our dither, because the standard has been set so high in the luminance threshold, luminance just means brightness, that this is the result. So only pixels that are basically pure white in this image meet the requirements in this luminance threshold to show up in our output, basically is all that means. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, so I'm just going to keep grabbing these outputs just using the copy and paste. This one looks quite cool with Burks, so I've gone for a really low scale, super high threshold, turned the midtones down and the highlights down, and lowered the contrast to 24. But if you copy those settings, the contrast will basically control everything for you. So I'm just going to export something around here back into my main document. I know I said not to leave the error diffusion category, but Bittone looks quite cool. I just tried this one because Bittone responds quite well to gradients. So yeah, if you want to try something that doesn't really match the pattern from the reference that I showed, Bittone looks quite cool as well. So I'll grab that one too. So I've got all these pasted in my document now, as you can see. And from here, if you go to Window and just make sure you've got the adjustments ticked and the properties ticked as well. I can't see properties. Here it is. And then in the adjustments panel, if you just click to make a new gradient map, and then in the properties panel, if you just double click the gradient that has now appeared there, and then double click again on the white color stop to pick your green. Now for you, you probably want to go for something a little bit dark, sort of like this. But for me, for the sake of making this visible in a video and not looking dull on screen, I'm going to go a little bit brighter than you should probably go. I'm just going to test that one out on this version here. And once you've got this document set up, you can, obviously you've got the source right here. So if you wanted to go in, and I said before about changing the blend mode to difference and reversing the gradient. So if I try that now, I just save, hide those layers, re-enable my gradient map, come back into Dither Boy and just drag your new variation in. You can see the difference isn't actually that much. I don't know if you could make out how much changed there, but it wasn't very much. The shading on the hands as a result of the difference blend mode has some more negative space shading, I guess you would call it, in the hands now, or at least that's what it looks like. I'm not an illustrator, so don't shoot me if I'm using the wrong terms, but if you tried this, you've still got a document set up again to just copy it, paste it in under the gradient map, and you can just sort of ping between these two states of the image to experiment until you get basically where you want to be. I think my favorite one here was the Gaussian one. So what I'm going to do is go File, New, and I'm just going to make another document that is the same size as the other one. And then if I come back into Dither Boy and just load back to my original that I got the Gaussian diffusion that I liked, just going to try and find the similar settings or just sort of somewhere close to what I had before. Go for that. And this time I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go to File, Export, Copy to Clipboard. Before I paste in, actually, I'm just going to go and grab this gradient map to the new document as well, and then just paste that in. Then if you go to Window and make sure you've got Timeline ticked, I've already got that open at the bottom here, and just click on Create Video Timeline, and then click these 3 buttons at the bottom left of the timeline to convert to a frame animation. Then on frame 1, just change this where it says 5 seconds to 0.1 seconds. Then come back into Dither Boy and change the settings as much or as little as you want. I'm only going to go for small, subtle changes here. So do your change, File, Export, Copy, back in, paste, back into Dither Boy again, do another change, File, export, copy, paste, and basically just repeat this as many times as you want. That's another one. All I'm doing for mine is I'm just tweaking the contrast, the highlights, and the threshold just so that the dots are just going to be jumping around when you see what I do in a minute. So I'll do one more. So I've got 6. This will be the 6th one. So from here, if you hide all the layers other than your first one, come back down to timeline, click on the plus button, toggle on the second layer, click back on the plus button in the timeline, toggle on the third layer, back to timeline, click the plus button again, toggle on your 4th layer, back to the timeline again, plus button again, toggle on your 5th layer, back to the timeline again and hit the plus button again, and then toggle on your final layer. If you did more than 6 layers, just repeat until you've done all your layers. And then if you click play here and make sure this says forever, if it doesn't say forever, just change it to say forever. And press play and you've got a nice little GIF in the same style as the Nokia reference that I showed at the beginning. And because you've still got Dither Boy open, if you really liked the ones you just did and you want to go and do like a 20-30 frame one, you can just go and do 20 or 30 more copies from this and paste it back in. In retrospect, I kind of like mine, the version I got here in my still image one, so I wish I'd have saved the preset. But yeah, the only things I would do differently on your end, I would just go for a darker green so it's more realistic, and I would probably not, whatever you're working on, maybe don't go so obvious in your reference to the Nokia artwork, because obviously I can't use this anywhere because it's just a rip off of Nokia. But yeah, I'll just give a quick mention as well to 2 people. Tom from Dreadlabs, who did that exact GIF Dither Boy process on a live stream like 2 weeks ago. I'll link his stream in the description. He did like his first time using Dither Boy on stream, which was really cool and really nice of him. And my friend Abel, who is a 3D artist and game developer, who you might know if you like are on the 3D Twitter basically, or if you watch a lot of Blender tutorials. He posted a thread on how to do this as well on Twitter, which was also very nice of him. So thank you to those 2 people for the support, and for those 2 people for like reminding me you can do this in Photoshop. I never really animate in Photoshop because I use After Effects. So if you don't have After Effects and you want to do an animation, then this is a cool way to do that. But that is about it for this video. If you would like to watch tutorials like this one early before they come out, then in Dither Boy, just go to extras and click on Discord. What I do is as soon as the video is edited and on my channel, I put them as unlisted and I send the links in here in the previews channel, and then I just make them public like once a week. Also, if you see me post any work with Dither Boy that you would like a tutorial for, you can request that tutorial in the Discord and I will very likely make it. Other than that, thank you very much for the support. If you do have Dither Boy, more cool stuff on the way. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.